So I just got done playing a couple of hours of Battlefield 6 already, and I wanted to just put this video out super fast because I wanted to kind of get my initial thoughts. I wrote down a bunch of notes. There's so much to go through, so many things I have to say about Battlefield 6. Genuinely, what a game so far. For me at least, this is genuinely exceeding my expectations. The numbers on Steam are crazy. Unfortunately, we can't really see what the other platform numbers are like, but if it's anything based off of those queue times, there were genuinely so many people logging in to play Battlefield 6 all at once. So I just kind of want to go through sort of the good, the bad that I've noticed so far, any issues that's kind of been happening with launch day. As is expected, launch day is going to be full of some problems, but anyways, let's just dive right on into it. So I actually bought this game on Steam. I pre-ordered it and I was going to actually go and play. I'd been awake for a while waiting for, the launch time, and unfortunately it kind of wasn't working. I had to restart Steam and then it started to unpack the game content and things like that. I finally got in, then I forgot that I hadn't upgraded my graphics drivers in ages, which was kind of my mistake, so I went and did that. And then I went to actually get into the game. So when I loaded in, there were around almost 260,000 people in the queue ahead of me, but it took I want to say 5-6 minutes to kind of get into the game. It loaded in, everything was working properly, so I was really excited about that. So I wanted to get started with multiplayer right away. Usually I would play the campaign. That is kind of my standard when it comes to FPS games like this, but to be honest, I was way too excited for multiplayer that I told myself, I was like, I'm just gonna play the campaign later. I don't even care right now. I just want to play multiplayer, get right on into it, see what it's like, and genuinely I am impressed. So there's a couple of issues that I do want to go through as well, because no game is without problems and I like to be as fair as I possibly can, but I can't lie and say that I was not having an absolute blast. The gameplay is relatively smooth. It's been working so far without any crazy errors or bugs. I haven't had a crash. I haven't gotten kicked out of my game. There are occasional issues with the connectivity, packet loss, things like that you would see in some online games, but in all fairness, I wasn't super fair with this because there were other things connected to my Wi-Fi and other devices running at the same time, so it wasn't just me. As is expected, this game is like absolute cinema. The destruction is insane. It's amazing. It's very chaotic, very much what you would expect a large-scale sort of Battlefield game to be like. The maps are actually really decent. They're not as bad as 2042's maps at all. Some of them I felt like were a little bit smaller than I had expected, but to be 100% honest, after playing through them, you kind of get used to it. And I think that there's a lot of traversal opportunities. The vehicles run really well. They're very well optimized. If you're a mouse and keyboard player, Battlefield is absolutely perfect. I play on mouse and keyboard because I am on PC and it's been a great experience so far. The gunplay is great. If you want to hear the actual audio perfectly, I recommend using the war tapes setting. That makes it sound way better than the standard audio setting. Do turn that on. I did try the closed weapon playlist and the open weapon playlist alike. Personally, I didn't really see players behaving too differently. I think that a lot of people just kind of did stick to their classes' weapons anyways, though I did notice a lot of shotguns, but I think that's because there was a challenge to get a bunch of shotgun kills, so that might have been the reason why, but for the most part, people kind of seem to stick with what weapon their class came with, so that was pretty good, but I personally didn't really find that I had a specific preference between open or closed weapon playlists in terms of the actual gameplay quality once I got into each. I played through a couple of the classes, but I did play Recon, I played Assault, and I played Engineer. Assault I've played the most so far, and I have to say it's been my favorite class. Engineer is really fun though, because you do have the rocket launchers and you can repair the vehicles, so I think if I had to rank them so far with what I've experienced, I do prefer Assault and Engineer the most. I like that you can revive all the teammates though regardless, and I like that the revival kind of mechanic, you can drag people away. I've been reviving just about anyone I can. It's a lot of fun, and you can thank the people that revive you, which is kind of sweet. Movement is something I looked very specifically at while I was playing, because in the day one patch notes, if you didn't get a chance to read those, one of the things that they mentioned was that the movement has kind of been nerfed in a way, so they add a penalty for consecutive jumps. You can't bunny hop. There's not really that slide cancel-y kind of movement that you see happening a lot in Call of Duty. I didn't really feel like you were being encouraged to try these weird movement exploits that you do have in a game like Call of Duty. I think it's a little bit clunky in a way, but it's not not smooth, if that makes sense. It's like somewhere floating in between. Do I think it could be a little bit smoother? Yes. But am I glad that they kind of nerfed some of this movement stuff? Yes as well, because I don't really feel like it would have fit with a game like this, especially because if you played Battlefield 2042, which I did, and the movement in that one was very much like it was in Call of Duty, and I wasn't a huge fan of that in a game like Battlefield with all this like sliding and jumping constantly. There are uses for slide mechanics and jumping in Battlefield 6, but for their actual intended uses, not for you to just kind of keep like bunny hopping constantly. So that was, in my opinion, something that made sense. I've played through pretty much all the modes, even the sort of close quarters, team deathmatch type of stuff. I haven't found anything that was boring yet. I actually had a lot of fun with all of them. From a personal standpoint, I can say with Battlefield 100% I did enjoy this, and I would play this pretty much every day. I don't see a reason why I wouldn't. It does feel like the gameplay is constantly different, even though it's like the same mode. The way it's played, because it's such a huge kind of area and there's just constantly different ways you can do anything in this game. You can try different classes. I feel like there's just enough variety that it works. The visuals, the graphics, very impressive. You can tell that this game was made for next gen. As a PC player, I'm really happy to see that it looks and plays smooth. Quick comment about the progression and weapon mastery. Of course, I'm going to break down a lot of these things in videos for the next coming days, but this is very much in the moment, my first initial thoughts kind of video. But for the most part, progression, I like it. I do like that. It's more challenge-based, weapon mastery-based, things like that. It's a little bit easier to kind of work with, in my opinion. The camos aren't too bad. I think they're realistic for a game like this. There's nothing like crazy or outlandish. It's not going to have like Call of Duty level camos. They're very much like more realistic style, if that makes sense. Now, there's a couple of things that I do think are kind of a problem with Battlefield 6, because I do want to be a little bit fair here and kind of give some critiques at the same time. The first thing is that I wish customization was as good as Battlefield 5, where you could just change your player appearance and not just the skins. Unfortunately, you can't really swap face models, looks, things like that. It's very much like you have a skin on top of an operator type of a thing. Now, it's not like it was in Battlefield 2042. None of them have like goofy lines or anything like that, so rest assured that that's not there, but I kind of wish that there was more customization. There have been some bugs here and there, like I mentioned, nothing game breaking, but noticeable. There is kind of a lot happening in the customization menus, in the gunsmith, so it does get a little bit difficult to kind of navigate at first, but once you get used to it, it's like super easy. But it's just like, don't feel intimidated when you see so many menus, just like kind of read through them, you'll figure it out. Something that's kind of huge though, that's been a problem, and I've been following it a bit on Twitter, is that apparently people who bought this game on the EA app have basically been unable to open the game since it came out. A lot of them, at least. I don't know if every single person that bought it on EA is kind of experiencing the same thing. I bought it on Steam because I just like Steam more. For people, it's like not working on the EA app. It's saying that you have to purchase the multiplayer, even though it's purchased and downloaded. Then it's saying that installation can't be found. Just a ton of issues. Now, Battlefield has said that they believe they found the cause for this issue as of me recording this audio, and that they're in the process of fixing it, but I have no clue what was going on there. It's kind of crazy that their own app is the thing with problems. Everybody else, Xbox, PlayStation, Steam, Epic Games, seems to be fine. It's just like for some reason EA's own app. So, and then a lot of people are having problems with missing content. So if you bought the Phantom Edition, you got some open beta rewards and the Road to Battlefield 6 rewards from Battlefield 2042's free pass. Some people are actually not finding their content in the game. So that is a problem that they are aware of and are fixing, but kind of annoying. I didn't expect the launch to be flawless. I mean, at the end of the day, this is probably one of the most hyped up games of 2025. There's so many people that want to play, and we were looking at almost like 2 million pre-orders on Steam. This is one platform on one system. So now obviously it is annoying if you've been anticipating it and you wanted to get in, you can't get in. That is very irritating. Some people were refunding the game from EA and buying it on Steam. Now, hopefully they will find a fix for this, because I would imagine that I'd be very angry about that. But from my end so far, I would say Battlefield 6 is amazing, definitely has exceeded my expectations, and I can say that so far I do see that this game is going to at least outperform Call of Duty for the time being. I don't know if Black Ops 7 really has a chance against Battlefield 6 this year. I played both. Black Ops 7 just wasn't this nearly hyped up. The interest in it wasn't that high. Issues aside, of course, I think Battlefield 6 has been a very solid game so far. I will get a campaign review out as well soon. I'm gonna be making a ton of content for Battlefield 6 within the next month or two, things like that. But yeah, let me know what you guys think in the comments below about Battlefield 6 if you've played it, if you haven't played it yet, those sorts of things. Like, share, subscribe, and turn on notifications set to all so you never miss out on another upload. And that's all for today, folks.